Hi guys, and welcome to another brand new video. Today's video is my Halloween manga and anime recommendations. I have put together a list of some Halloween anime and manga so that you can read and or watch them throughout the course of this month to get you in the Halloween spirit. All of these anime are adapted from manga, so you can go and read the manga if you want to see what happens once the anime series is over. First up is Blue Exorcist. Blue Exorcist is about Rin. He lives at the Southern Cross Boys Monastery with his father and his twin brother Yukio. One day, after encountering a boy possessed by a demon, Rin discovers that he is the son of Satan when his powers are awakened. Rin decides to join the True Cross Order of Exorcists and begins his exorcist training while keeping his identity a secret from the other trainees. His main goal, of course, being to become the best exorcist he can be to take on his father, Satan himself. The manga version of this is still ongoing. If you want to read it, it is past where the anime was up to. As for the anime, we have 2 seasons. We have the first season and then we have the Kyoto Saga season, and we also have the Blue Exorcist movie. When it comes to the anime, season 1 deviated from the manga a little bit because when it originally aired, it had gone past where the manga was up to. Season 2, the Kyoto Saga, does try to fix that a little bit, so there is a little bit of a discrepancy when you switch over from the 2 seasons. The anime and manga are both excellent. I enjoy the art, the animation is brilliant, I like the colour palette, I like the soundtrack, I like the OST, the characters are enjoyable, there are a lot of laughs to be had. It's not particularly creepy, but it does have some emotional moments too, and there is a nice pace. The first season... Next up is Death Note. Our main character, Light Yamagami, comes across a black notebook called the Death Note, and it turns out if you write someone's name in it, they die. He partners up with the death god Ryuk to rid the world of corruption, one death at a time. He's kind of like a little vigilante, but a little bit darker. Unfortunately for Light, his actions, as well-meaning as you could argue that they are, will not go unchallenged, and there is someone hunting him down to put an end to it. Do not watch the live-action Netflix movie. It is complete and utter garbage. Let's not give it any more views than it already has, because for some reason they've decided we need a second one where no one is asking for that. Literally no one. Just ignore it, pretend it doesn't exist. If you don't want to watch this, you can read the manga. There are 12 volumes, I think there are, or 13. As for the anime, I watched it on Netflix. I thought it was really good. I got drawn more and more into it. Plus, you know, it kept me on my toes. I like the opening, I like the music, I thought the animation was good. But it is a really nice, dark, twisty show if you want to watch it. You've got to be shitting me, that's just not right. Not being funny guys, but I just went on Netflix to check something was on there to tell you guys in this video, only to discover that the fucking anime version of Death Note has apparently been removed from UK Netflix, and the only version of Death Note on the UK Netflix is the frickin' terrible awful film. Jesus Christ. Next up is Seraph of the End. This is my vampire entry for my Halloween recommendations list. I'm ticking them off one by one. Demons, murder, vampires. I don't think I have any ghosts on here. In Seraph of the End, an epidemic has wiped out most of the world's population. Most of the adults are gone. Kids under a certain age were fine. The vampires have now crawled up from their underground lairs because they got to keep an eye on their livestock. They are now in charge of everything. They have taken over, and our main character, Yu, escapes from the vampires. He goes running to the Japanese Imperial Demon Army, which he finds are now a thing when he reaches the surface, and he decides he is going to join so he can hunt down vampires and get revenge for his family. But in order to wield the cursed gear that they use to do so, he needs to make some friends, make some nice memories to strengthen his bonds to his humanity, otherwise the demon in the cursed gear will completely take him over. I love this anime, I do not care what anyone says about it. I binge watched it, completely loved it, I bought the DVDs, I bought all of the volumes of the manga and read all of it. It is a really fun series. I feel like it's a really great twist on vampires and dystopia in general. I like how the two are blended together. The characters are interesting. Yes, it's not the most complicated art style, but it's nice. I like how the settings are drawn. I like the world that's been created. Like I said, I like the blend of dystopian and vampire and the twist on the vampires, and I find it both entertaining and kind of like heartwarming and sad at some points, and there are definitely a absolute shit ton of twists, both in the anime and in the manga. I also really liked the soundtrack for the anime. If you want to pick up the manga, then I think it's volume 11 or 12 that goes past the anime series. Next up is Servamp. Servamp is about Maharu, and he is minding his own business one day when he happens upon a stray cat, and he decides to take the stray cat in. He takes it home, he gives it a little bell around its neck, feeds it some milk, but then it turns out that the stray cat is actually a servant vampire, aka a Servamp. Its name is Sleepy Ash, aka Sloth, but he has named it Kuro, and because he has named it and given it something meaning the bell, they are now bound together. Because of this, Maharu is pulled into the world of vampires, the world of the 7 deadly Servamps, and war. This is both an anime and a manga. Again, the manga volumes are quite slow coming out, but we have surpassed the anime. I actually watched the anime first and only picked up the manga because I wanted to see what happened next. I liked the colour palette, I liked the animation, it had a banging opening song, I liked the pace to it as well. I thought it was, again, another interesting twist on vampires. I was really fascinated by it all. There's a lot of bickering between all of them. In the anime, we don't get to see all of the 7 deadly Servamps, but we do get to see a few of them. There's a nice amount of action, as well as some mystery thrown in there. I'm not gonna lie though, the Servamps are really, really cute in their little animal forms. They're just so cute. Next up is Angels of Death. Honestly, I talk about this one so much in videos recently, do I even need to still explain this one? Basically, Rachel wakes up in this building, she has no memory, she has no idea where she is. As she starts to explore, she bumps into serial killer Zach. He kind of tries to kill her, but then they end up teaming up and working together to make their way out of this building. They have to go up floor by floor, and on each floor there is a serial killer trying to kill them. They have to use Zach's, murder skills with his scythe and Rachel's brain to beat each floor and beat each floor boss, if you will. The anime for this is actually adapted from a game, and there is a manga adaptation too, which you guys have seen me review before. The art is really good, I like the animation, I really like the kind of dull muted colour palette that we have for the anime. I also really like the pace it has, and I really like the fact it isn't overly gamey, as you sometimes see with anime that are adapted from games like Tales of Zestiria, for instance. Next up is D. Grey Man. So in D. Grey Man, you basically have Akuma, which are souls that have been brought back to life via sadness, despair, and the Millennium Earl's powers. One might accuse them of terrorising the earth a little bit. Luckily, you have the Black Order, who are a group of exorcists, and they go around cleansing the souls of the Akuma and collecting a substance known as innocence, which can be used as a weapon against the Akuma. They're basically collecting it up because they want to use it to kill the Millennium Earl, who is, creating the Akuma problem and is kind of a pain in the arse in general. Our main character is Alan Walker. He is a young exorcist. He can tell who is a human and who is an Akuma by the use of his cursed eye. And Alan and the Order need to find all 109 pieces of innocence in order to defeat the Millennium Earl and save the world. So if you want to read the manga, you can buy it in an omnibus, which is 3 volumes in one. I really enjoyed the lore for this, I enjoyed the different twists, the art style isn't particularly one of my favourites, but D. Grey Man is a fun and exciting series, and there is a brilliant cast of characters. Next up is Tokyo Ghoul. Again, this is a staple on Halloween recommendation videos. Modern day Tokyo lives in fear of ghouls. They are creatures that look human, but hunger for human flesh. Ken is a bookish and ordinary young man until he is turned into the first ever human ghoul half-breed. Ken basically finds himself trapped between 2 worlds. He must survive the conflicts of the warring ghoul factions, while attempting to learn more about ghoul society and his new powers. Honestly, I am saying the word ghoul so much right now, I feel like it's not even a real word. This next section of the video is manga only. These do not have an anime adaptation of them, so you cannot watch them, you can only read them. First up is Ghost Diary. Our main character Kyoichi is from an exorcist family. His older sister is the strongest. She keeps a notebook with ways to defeat every single ghost that there is. But after rescuing Kyoichi from a haunted shrine, she unfortunately goes missing. 6 years on, with the notebook as his guide, Kyoichi is confronted by someone who claims to be his sister's friend, which obviously begs the question, who is this person? How do they know his sister, and what do they know about his sister's disappearance? There are only 3 volumes of this manga. It is a short series, but it has really interesting art. I really loved reading about all the different kinds of ghosts. I found it creepy at points, like really creepy, but I feel like it was paced well and it ended nicely. The case study of Vanitas. Noe is searching for his friend's salvation. Rumours of a grimoire of dubious reputation known as the Book of Vanitas draw him to Paris. Luckily, instead of having to hunt the book down, the book comes to him along with vampire doctor Vanitas. Noe is then, unfortunately, drawn into the conflict between human and vampires, and he has to decide whether he's going to throw in his lot with Vanitas and his quest to save vampire kind. The art is completely and utterly 100% gorgeous. It is by the same artist and author as Pandora Hearts. I really wish this would get a freaking anime series. There's a really nice pace to this. It draws you in, it pulls in various different elements, various different plot threads. There's a nice amount of mystery. It has a really nice twist on vampires, and it is steampunk Paris. Need I say more? Next up is Yoki Rental Shop. The very lonely Haragi learns that he has a long-lost brother, so he decides to meet him. However, he is shocked to learn that his brother is the proprietor of a pet shop, but it is not a normal pet shop. The pet shop is a front for supernatural rentals, and customers in the know can rent a Yoki to perform supernatural deeds for them. The only catch being they have to form a contract written in blood. The art is really beautiful. I like the pace to it. There is a nice assortment of various different Yoki for you to see and learn about, which is something I love. But alongside that, there is a deeper plot because the father of the two of them is shady as, and he is determined to get his hands on Haragi for nefarious purposes. Next up is Inspector, which I have described before as a supernatural female Sherlock Holmes. Our main character Kotoko was kidnapped by Yoki as a child. She was returned missing one eye and one leg, and she then had the ability to see and communicate with otherworldly forces. The Yoki refer to her as their lady, as their goddess. She basically solves problems and disputes between them. She's been doing all of this on her own, but then she meets Kuro, who basically eats something he shouldn't, and now he can't die. They form a partnership to deal with various different mysteries, from an ancient demon to the ghost of an idol. This series is a lot of fun. I feel like it has really great storytelling because each volume pulls you in, it builds up the mystery bit by bit, it gives you the basic facts, and then it throws some legends and some lore at you, and then Kotoko throws out various different scenarios of what could have happened. I really love the way it builds up and adds more and more in until the big reveal. As you can probably imagine, there is a nice amount of lore and legend, which is something I really freaking love in this series because it is so brilliantly done, and there is a nice amount of action to offset the deduction and the Sherlock Holmesiness. Last up is a terrified teacher at ghoul school. Our main character Haruaki is cowardly, he's easily bullied, and he runs away from his first ever teaching job, leaving him to question his life choices. Luckily, he gets offered a job to teach at a high school on a remote island. Unfortunately for him, it turns out it is a school for Yoki, which is not a good thing when you are as cowardly as Haruaki is, and Yoki are one of the things he just so happens to be terrified of. Therefore, his plan to start afresh and be the best teacher he can be swiftly goes down the toilet. This one isn't really so much creepy, but I feel like it fits the Halloween vibe because we have a lot of Yoki. It's also a very, very funny and entertaining series. I definitely laugh a lot when I'm reading this. I really like the art. I feel like it's really good. There's a nice pace. It's kind of like a slice of life, but I am still 100% convinced that we are going to get a deeper storyline here because they keep banging on about Haruaki's anti-Yoki power. You can't tell me they're going to bring that in and keep alluding to this other person without taking it deeper, but I guess we'll see. If you like your Halloween reading material, not at all creepy, this is the one for you. I hope you guys enjoyed my Halloween anime and manga recommendations video. Let me know down below which of these you are planning to read and or watch. Also let me know down below if you have any Halloween anime or manga recommendations for me. I am always on the lookout. There are some that I could have included, but I didn't. I'm trying to keep it short. Some other ones you might want to check out are Soul Eater, Devil is a Part-Timer is both an anime and a manga, Strike the Blood is another vampire one with an interesting twist. We have Noragami if you want something kind of supernatural involving gods but nothing overly Halloween-y. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you would like more similar content, and I will see you guys next video.